Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Easy Dishes, where today I'll be making a pumpkin soup. So, first thing on the agenda is going to be removing the tip from one large pumpkin. This will make it easier for us to cut the pumpkin in half later, so just take your knife, place it just above the tip, cut it with a little elbow grease and make sure to not cut yourself. Place the pumpkin on the flat side and put your knife on top of it, and now just press down, give it a few little cuts here and there, and there you have it, two pumpkin halves. After that is done, we place the pumpkin on the flat side and remove the rest of the stem for both halves. Don't let the pumpkin give you a fight, just place it down and cut it. Now you have two wonderfully prepared pumpkin halves. Next up is we're going to take one spoon and spoon out the cores and seeds, but don't throw away the seeds just yet, because you can use them in further cooking. Either you bake them in a bread or just dry them and eat them as a little snack. This is entirely up to you, but I like to keep them because that's a great alternative instead of getting store-bought ones, and also it's much cheaper. So just scratch out everything, clean off the seeds, and use them as you wish. Great! Now that the pumpkin is mostly prepared, we just take the cores and put them to the side for further use, just before we start slicing and dicing the pumpkin into small cubes. This is easiest if you just quarter the halves by pressing the knife down onto the pumpkin. So just continue repeating that until everything is done, and then slice those slices into small cubes, put them to the side, and rinse and repeat. By the way, you don't have to cut the cubes as small, this just helps with the cooking and makes it a little quicker. So just cut it into about 2 to 3 centimeter large pieces and you should be good to go. When everything is done, you take one large pot and throw everything in there. Next up, what we're going to do is we take 3 potatoes, which we are going to peel and dice into as large pieces as we did with the pumpkin, and throw them into the pot as well. This will help with giving the soup a nice and rich body. For a little color, we're going to add about 3 carrots, from which we will remove the tips from both ends and then cut into large pieces. The carrots will give the soup a nice and orange color and also give it a little extra taste. So just take all the pieces and throw them into the pot as well. Just before, we're going to take a whole bunch of spring onions, which we are going to peel off the outer layer because I'm too lazy to wash them. So just rip off everything that you would consider the outermost layer and cut off the very tip of the greens. Now you don't have to wash them and it's much quicker. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the whole bunch and slice it into much smaller pieces than we need to do, because we can just chop them like we did with the carrots and it will be fine too. Throw everything into a large pot, add 2 cloves of garlic, and there we have it, everything we need for the pumpkin soup. Over at the stove, we're going to drizzle in some vegetable oil and stir the whole thing and let it fry until we see some nice fond at the bottom, just like this. When that is done, we take about 500 milliliters of vegetable broth and put that in along with some fresh cold water until everything is submerged. Now we're going to ground in some freshly ground black pepper and throw in 1 or 2 bay leaves as well and stir the whole thing together. Now we're going to put on the lid and let it simmer while occasionally stirring. For a little extra taste, I always add a few drops of liquid smoke just before we're going to add the whole thing into the jar of a high power blender, and then we're going to blend everything from low to high speed until everything is very smooth and creamy. When that is done, we're going to take off the lid and add our last seasonings. These are going to be some crème fraîche, some paprika powder, some oregano, and a small teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Cover it up, strike some nice poses while it blends together, and there we have it, the pumpkin soup. Give it a last taste for seasoning, and then we're going to get ready for the plating. Add 2 to 3 ladles full of soup, add some crème fraîche, some nice croutons, some freshly chopped parsley, and there we have it, our pumpkin soup. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.